Welcome to another episode of Reseller Evolution. I'm Scott.
And I'm Carl.
How's it going, Carl?
Good, but
Good.
I'm tired.
Tired.
I spent yesterday, my parents are here for the summer, and I'm in Ottawa, and they like flying to Montreal.
Oh.
Which means I have to go pick them up.
How far a drive?
It's 2 hours.
Oh.
So it's 2 hours there, 2 hours back, obviously.
Yeah.
And then an hour and a half to the cottage, an hour and a half back. But
so is it their cottage?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of cool cottage, actually. 1850s. It has big, thick walls and all that stuff. Yeah. Even with its resident ghost.
Well, you should look in behind the walls because you might find a cigarette tin worth $55,000.
Yeah. Well, I know this old. They used to use paper to insulate it.
Oh, okay.
So there's old paper behind the walls. I know that for sure.
Yeah. They're probably not worth much, but there could be anything behind those walls, right? Because
you never know.
You never know, right? So money, jewelry, anything, right? Was it a house or was it always a cottage?
It was a house in Portage de Fort, which is an old town actually, in just near Renfrew on the Quebec side of the border.
Yeah.
And it burned down like a lot of small towns did and never recovered. And from what I understand, I think there was a ferry. So it's a ferry person's house, I think.
Okay.
And there was a tinsmith there. And yeah, it's cool. It's a cool old place.
Just doesn't sound right. There's a ferry person.
Yeah.
Although anything ferry stuff always sells well.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Yep. Don't get us distracted. So yeah. Anyways, so I spent about 8 hours driving around and doing all that stuff. And Montreal's can be a bit of a stressful drive. Like I don't mind it too much, but
okay.
It's you have to expect the unexpected. like it's a sort of place where lanes just end with no warning, but all the locals know. So you'll see all the locals pulling over. And you're like to another lane. It's like, okay, they obviously know something I don't. But I'm used to that sort of driving because downtown Ottawa can be a bit like that too. So,
yeah, I can imagine like in those certain older areas. Like, I mean, who knows what's in those places, right? Like, we always talk about certain ages of places, but you can get into some places possibly out there, but we're 300-400 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was an old trade. Like Portage de Fort used to be a trading post originally. I think.
Yeah.
So I think it goes back really far. I think
like 1500.
Yeah, I should look it up. I'm kind of curious now, but it is old. But I don't know how many people were actually there at that time, because it was up the Ottawa River, so it was convenient for fur trading and stuff like that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Anyway, so I did that yesterday, and what else? I did a little bit of. I got my bolo from Montreal yesterday because of course, since I was there, I had to hit a Value Village. See, it says it sold 1844, so that doesn't sound that old to me. So I thought it was older than that, but who knows? Maybe it was a fur. Oh yeah, here 1694 established a fur trade post there.
Okay. So 1694.
1694. Wow. It might have not been in that exact area, but
yeah.
Anyways, so I went to the Valley Village there and picked up my bolo of the day, so that's good.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I stole one from Two Dogs Digs actually, so now I have one for next week too. So it's like,
oh wow,
whew, I can relax.
Yeah, well, they're just flowing in, Carl. No, I have a few too. I've been I teased a little bit last week. Well, It wasn't a full week. My apologies, but I teased a little bit regarding I have a good bolo coming up this week. But in that time, I also thought of a few others too. So I think we're pretty good for bolos now.
Wow, look at us doing our homework.
Yeah. So,
How's your
So,
week?
how was the weekend at the booth?
Ooh.
Sales? What's that?
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I think I
That?
barely broke 100.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah.
What's
I
going
think
on?
I calculated the math and I think I made like $2 an hour. But
Wow.
I got breakfast at McDonald's.
Yeah.
So that took a $10 of that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Uh well,
Come
I
on,
don't
make it sound good. Come on. Make
dude,
me feel better.
I had a great weekend. I had a great week. I had a
Yeah.
great week.
Okay, good.
Um Again, it started off weird, not much over 100, but there was a lot of things going under $100. However, like books, CDs, lots of books and VHS and CDs and DVDs are crushing it. I had some pictures go out, uh, another pharmacy bottle. Uh, Let me just see here. I'm just trying to. And a Mex, it was an owl, but it was folk art looking, made of
Right.
ceramic, but it was an owl. Um, 35 on that. Dream catcher for 20. But then we get into the good stuff, Carl. Then we
Yeah.
get into the good stuff. Sort of good stuff. I almost cried when it sold, but the Ninja Turtle.
Oh no, it's
The
off.
Ninja Turtle's gone. He was gone the next day, dude.
Nice.
So here's the story on that one. I don't think I told you this, but I put I put 165 on it, and then another vendor come up and we were talking, and he thought it was cool, and I said, yeah, they go $200-300 used or about $500, brand new, and I said, I just don't think I can get more than 165 for it. He goes, you never know. He goes, Comic-Con is on, and that's in Niagara Falls, which is about a couple hours away, hour and a half or so, but they might travel through here. You never know, right? He goes, he goes, but it looks really cool. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really want him to sell this quickly. So you know what? I'm going to bump it up to 185. So I put 185 on it. The next day, I put it on Friday. The next day, and the Saturday in the morning, it sold. So what happened was a young girl was buying it for her younger brother. So they give her 10% off. So it really sold for $166.50, which is a couple bucks more than what I originally listed at. So I can't be complaining. And to boot, I only paid $5.
You tried to give them 10. I thought you said you gave them 10.
Well, here's the story.
Yeah,
I gave them 10.
You said
and
the
in
story.
return, they give me a Mr. T.
Yeah.
They give me a He-Man. They give me the Tiger. And they give me a Thundercat. Right? So, I don't know. You can say I paid nothing for it. You can say I paid 10. You can say I paid 5 for the little figures. So what happened was, in case anyone's new here, didn't hear last week's show, they asked for 5. I said, I'm going to give you 10, and then I started looking around. I picked up those other 4 figures, and the mom says, no, you paid too much already, because they said 5 is too much. They only want a couple bucks for it. Dude, I can't make this stuff up. It's like it was so true.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said, just you take them, and they took $10. So however you want to look at it, right? So
great flip.
So I sold a PS2 for $100. A lot of little stuff.
So I have a question. For the PS2, right?
Yep.
You tested it, right?
Yep.
And
I actually had my son, when he was working, he tested it for me.
So do you write on the tag tested and working?
Yep.
Okay. Just curious.
Yep.
I think that's the way to go with that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Tested and working. Cross stick pitcher for 20. Ceramic fruit. Paid $5 at a church rummage sale, and I got $30 for it. There was a couple bananas, a couple pears, an apple, that kind of thing with it. But they were like very 70s, they were like a creamy, not even they were like a beige with dark brown flowery images, or they were dark brown with beige flowery images. Like there was the 2 different types.
And this was glass?
Ceramic.
ceramic. Is it, it's funny. I will pick up that stuff if I'm in the right mood.
Yeah. Well, Steph told me it would never sell because it was really ugly, and I said, "Hey,
Oh my god,
that's what sells, right?" So,
it's
and
funny.
it
Yeah.
was gone. Like I put it in there 2 or 3 weeks ago. I do have some video on it. I haven't posted or anything. It's on my phone, but it'll be in that video. And then I sold some sunglasses for $110. They're called Bullet Hole. Uh, this I should have used this as a bolo, but anyway, it doesn't matter. They're aviation military glasses. They're called Bullet Hole just because they have a circle right here in the center where the nose piece is.
That's cool.
And if you look them up, Bullet Hole, they're vintage. They're probably from the 70s. They're kind of like what they use on, if you ever watched Maverick, what's that? Top Gun? Like it's those type of aviation. This is the second time I've sold them, so I knew what they were when I got these ones. Very little to nothing in them because you just pick them up. I think I probably paid $10 for a whole bunch of sunglasses, and this was an auction. But the other one, I know exactly where I bought them, but I sold them a few years ago, like just before the pandemic, and I got those at a yard sale where I got a bunch of military stuff for next to nothing. The guy was just giving it away. Just clearing out the house, he said.
You're blessed. What can I say?
Yeah. Well, that was a long time ago. Like that was when before I was even on eBay. But so anyways, but then there's tons of other stuff. So honestly, it was a really good weekend. And then sold some other stuff on eBay too, so I can't complain. I mean, I just started listing. I haven't listed for a few weeks now. I keep saying that each show. But this morning I got up, I listed 6 items, and one sold within 10 minutes.
Wow.
And do you want to talk about that subject, Carl?
Well, yeah.
Because you know what I sold.
Yeah. I'm always nervous when things go that quick, for one.
Yes, I am too.
But yeah, it was just one of those blessings I had. Like I haven't 100% sure, but we talked about jewelry a while ago.
Yeah.
And I got I bought a lot, and I had a bunch of other stuff in it, like mostly garbage, right? And I saw this little pendant in there of a ladybug. I went, oh, okay, this is kind of cool.
Nice.
And I can flip it over. It's like, oh, I can see this writing on the back. And this thing's the size of my pinky. So of course I had to get the glasses out, and I saw, okay, it's 925. That's a good sign, but not enough metal in there to actually make a difference in value, right? The amount of silver, and there's nothing. But then I saw a name on there, and it's David Anderson.
Okay.
And David Anderson is I think a Norwegian artist, and his stuff, Norwegian, goes for good money. So this pennant, the size of my fingernail, probably goes for like $80 to $100 at least.
Nice.
And I got this in a mixed lot, and thought nothing of that, all the garbage in there, but it just shows you those little tiny items can be amazing. And I'm glad I checked to see if it was signed. And, we were talking about signed stuff before, which kind of relates to what you're talking about now.
Yeah. Well, it's signed. And yeah, I've sold miniature stuff that's been signed. So I think regardless, and I don't think we're saying anything that our listeners don't know, but
no,
I think
probably never are.
No, but I think the key, I don't think I'm about to say something our listeners don't know is what I mean. I think the key is to find stuff that is signed. You know what I mean? Like if you're looking at fashion jewelry, miniatures, anything, it's that signed artist stuff that really,
it can be hidden. It can be hidden value. Like you look at this thing and it's like, oh, you can tell it's quality. Like for me, it's a little ladybug, and you can see its quality. It's enameled, and it's cute.
Yeah,
but it's a small little piece, right? It's the signature that brings it past the value of something else, and
by significant amounts.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. His stuff, I'm confident in the 80 to 100.
Yeah,
because I don't find it sold for a ladybug. People are asking crazy amounts, but his stuff sells in that 80 to 100 for something this small. So
okay,
we'll see how it goes. And then doing this actually, we came across another example of how frustrating eBay can be, where it doesn't give you, like, you can Google then something, and find eBay results, and then you search on eBay, typing things in, and it won't find the same listings. It's so dangerous. I hate that stuff. But rant off my daily, my weekly eBay rant. But and if you type Dave Anderson pendant, you won't find it. It has to be David.
Wow.
And so that's why, like, when you're searching too, sometimes it's better to use as few words as possible, because it will screen out anything that it doesn't find. Sometimes it
did that. It did that with. Okay, so one of the things I sold on eBay also today was a train for $225, and I'm just backing up what you said. So I get in this morning, and I'm thinking, okay, let me just go and see what other Roku does, because I got a whole bunch of Roku trains, but I didn't list them because I have to go in and find the track, which is buried amongst a bunch of stuff. But I wanted to test them. But I already had one listed, so I just left it. But I wanted to test them before I list the rest of them, right? But I just, because I sold a Roku, I went in there just to see what other Rokus are going for. And I wanted to see if they're listing tested and working and all this stuff too. But I typed in accidentally 3 C's.
Yes.
Or 2 C. Maybe it's 1 C and I put in 2, but I put in an extra C and it gave me just a whole bunch of horse crap.
Yes.
And it was exactly what you're saying.
You have to be so careful sometimes, and it's not consistent.
Yeah, sometimes so I had to go out. I deleted the 1 C, made sure the spelling was right, and it gave me everything I wanted.
And you have to make sure that you're searching on all categories. Because if you search for something and it brings you to a subcategory, and then you search again with that correction, it'll keep you in that subcategory instead of all, right? So like you're looking for train stuff, right? And if the 1 C was like jewelry, and then you change the correct spelling, it won't take you out of the jewelry category. I'm talking about on the desktop here.
Yeah.
And so you think, well, that's weird. I'm not finding anything. So you have to be really careful sometimes for these.
So now, okay, let me play a little bit of devil's advocate to both of us here with our little conversation. Like, we're both kind of complaining, but is it user error or eBay error? You know what I mean?
So,
because technically that's us making a spelling mistake. That's not an eBay error.
Yes.
So is eBay really, should it be set up to do that?
Yes, it should be. Because that's what humans do, right? Like if you do a coding thing, right, and everyone's making a very common error, you should have a system to deal with that common error. You don't ignore the error and say I used to call them wetware problems, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So let me play devil's advocate to work this out. I'm only trying to think outside the box to try to work it out. So I'm going to stick up for eBay a little bit in the way I'm talking. But what would happen, and you're a computer guy and I'm not, so I don't know. What would happen if they adjusted it to accept errors? Would that, and instead of typing in the right thing and getting just the train stuff, would it say, well, maybe they're making an error in the spelling, so now I'm going to give them a whole bunch of stuff is similar to that in case someone's making a mistake in the.
So usually, like, Google does that, to be honest.
Okay, right? How does that work out? I don't know.
Usually pretty good, because I can't spell for beans. So the nice thing is, but what Google will do is say, here's what we think you searched for, right?
Yeah.
And below it will be, here's if you want to search for exact how you entered it.
Right. Okay, I've seen that.
Yeah. So, eBay should be kind of the same. Like, there used to be a site called, I think, Thick Thumbs or something like that, for if you want to search for stuff on eBay and you want to look for common spelling errors.
Yeah.
And it might still exist. And what you could do, the advantage of that is, like, say someone, like for me, portrait miniatures is what I look for. If someone spelled miniature wrong, right?
Yeah.
It would look for that. And then you could find listings that no one was actually looking for. And if you're lucky, it was an auction. And you get things cheap because they did a spelling error.
Right.
So I think if that site can figure out that people are doing spelling errors, So can eBay. Now, to be clear, sometimes eBay does do that. Sometimes it can figure this stuff out. But
I
I
do
kind of,
notice that sometimes when you're typing something in, like if I put PS2, like or PS, it'll give me PS1, PS2, console, games. It'll give me a whole bunch of,
yeah, sometimes it's
as I'm
annoying.
typing, it'll
Yeah.
narrow it down, but it'll give me a drop down box of where I can click on to options.
Yeah,
So,
that's, yeah.
right.
I'm glad I'm not doing the programming. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But I do find eBay is their search engine I think has improved a bit, but it was really bad at one point.
Yeah.
Like if you type in, like, here's something funny. If you type in, I don't know if they fixed this, but before, if you type in teacup, right, two different words,
Yeah.
or you type in cup space tea,
Yeah.
you get different results,
Yeah. Well, and I can see that.
right? It's trying to use a little, but you have to be careful that when you're searching for stuff, I don't, and also, like I said, if I use Google Lens on this little pen here, this little ladybug one,
Yeah.
I can type in that criteria into eBay. It won't find those listings. But if I do Google Lens, it will find the less listings that should have shown up for some reason. I've never explored it too much because it didn't really. I usually use both, right? Like I
Yeah.
always go to eBay first, and then if I get enough results, I don't really care. It's when it's something weird like this little pendant that it's like, okay, I actually want Google Lens to catch those listings. What I find really annoying is another side is when it finds something on Etsy and you click on it and that doesn't take you to the listing. It takes you to a bunch
Yes.
of listings. That annoys me so much.
Yeah.
But,
And right now, for some reason, on my phone, if
yeah,
anything comes, like say I'm Google Lensing something, I'll
yeah.
Google Lens it. It'll come up in Etsy, and I'll hit visit, and it's all Spanish.
Oh, I don't know why
Now
it does that.
it allows me to translate to English, but it doesn't give me English first. It's always got to be translated.
Oh, that's weird. I wonder if this is a weird setting you have somewhere.
It's the only one that does it is at Etsy, and it's only on my phone. So,
When it
like,
checks, yeah, I don't know. The
like
only
it's not
thing
like I click on eBay and it gives me Spanish.
the only thing I can think of it like when you look at Etsy, are you signed in?
No, it's Google Lens.
Yeah, but when you click on Etsy, it takes you to their website.
Yep.
And at that point, you might be logged in, but I don't know.
No, not on my phone.
That is annoying.
On my
Yeah,
desktop, yeah, but not on my phone. And if I am
um,
logged in, then that would even be better for me because I'd be logged in under English.
yeah. I don't know. That's annoying. But
Um,
I'll see if it annoyed me enough. I Google it because I'm sure you're not the first person to have that problem.
but I did do some decent sales considering low listing. If you want to, I'll go through them real
Yeah,
quickly
I
here,
just want to
Carl.
say one more thing.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Um, if you're on desktop, and you have a picture, like say you're doing a listing, and you have your first picture up, you can actually right click on that picture and you can do a Google Lens on your desktop. I do that sometimes. That can be also very useful if you're trying to comp something and you're not sure and you're on desktop and you're doing a listing. So
okay, cool.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So on eBay, I sold a wood carved figure. It was German. It was a mandolin player. $85 on that.
Nice.
A book on arrowheads. It was a price guide, 5th edition. Now, I think I had it for $75, but I gave the viewer like a watcher a 15% off or something. So I actually got $63.71 for the book. And that was obtained when I got all those all those car books.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
was in that. I sold another one, which I had this for a while. I'm not sure. I think I picked it up at a yard sale for like $1. Feather strokes for canvas backs. So it's either a book on, I think, drawing ducks or wood carving or painting wood carvings or something like that. But it was a very, very thin book, but I got $30 on that. I sold another Longest Day Normandy, one of those 1944, but one of those unpunched games.
Oh yeah.
$245.
Jesus.
So, a bunch of toy soldiers, another book from that lot of car books for $27.96. So I think I had 35 on it. I would have gave him a discount. And then the train for $225 and the brooch for $145. So I haven't been listening much, but at least they've been pretty strong sales, though. Like, not the amount, but the quantity of sales, but the quality of sales. Does that make sense?
Sounds good to me. All those values, though, any one of those would make my week.
Yeah.
So,
and yeah, so I was pretty happy with that. Plus the booth, so it was a pretty good week for being distracted and doing a bunch of crap, like moving.
Yeah.
So, I just took yesterday completely off. Like I didn't do nothing. Like it was just relax, and we did nothing all day. The only thing I did do yesterday was package some stuff to ship out to the post office, but that was it. And that's not really work. That's joy.
If it's easy, I don't mind packing.
Yeah. I don't know. Anything that's a sale related, I don't mind.
Packing is the least of my, the thing I like about packing is with ADHD, it's an external pressure that I can't ignore, which is good.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It's like a commitment that I feel committed to. And so it's not as hard for me to get motivation to do it because
you can't procrastinate because there's repercussions.
Exactly. I need the stick. The carrot doesn't work for me. I need the stick.
Every hour you don't list, there should be like
a little zap,
a bee sting or something in your shoulder, right? I gotta list that. I got 10 minutes before the next bee sting. So
I think as an aside for my eBay store, I think I need to go through and lower prices on stuff because I haven't done that in a long time. And I have a lot of stale inventory on there.
So. Candace and Lonnie, like Shed Flips, they do that. And I think they have quite good success. Like,
it usually works.
Yeah. So they'll go in and knock so much off for the older listings, right? So they call it Lonnie's Losers.
Lonnie's Losers. Well, sometimes it's just that the market's changed or you were completely off on the price when you listed it. And if you never go in there and change it, it's never going to sell.
Right.
Or the chance of selling is
very
low. So it's probably about time I did that.
And sometimes you get those higher end comps, but people are undercutting it. So now you're kind of at that high end and people are just coming and getting the lower ones, right? So, it's fine.
Sometimes I'll buy something and I swear the comp said it's worth 100 and you get home it's worth 50. And so I sell it like at 80 because I'm upset. And of course it never sells. You know what I mean? That emotional attachment to the price. Because damn it, I saw it sell for 100 when I was out in the field.
For sure.
Someone lied to me.
All right. Well, there's our sales. Carl, did you go and buy anything this week?
I did go to the garage sales on Saturday, but it was actually started raining immediately.
Oh.
So wow. I did get up though. I got just a box of cars, like toy cars for $5. But that kid was rough on his toys. Holy crap. They're almost all roached. It's sad because they're all from they're 70s and 60s.
Yeah.
And if, one of them would be worth 40 or $50, but they're almost all, I don't know what the hell the kid did with them. Like he just trashed them one by one, put little ball rockets in each one and destroy them. I don't know how you do this amount of damage. Some of them he painted.
Oh
yeah. But for $5, when I saw the age for $5, it's like, I'll just pick this up and whatever.
Sure.
Yesterday I went to Montreal. I thought about going to Lachute, which is that flea market I wanted to go to because it's on the way. And so it wouldn't have cost me anything more to go. But then would have to stick around for 4 hours. And I knew it was going to be a long day. And 4 hours after the flea market to wait to pick up my parents.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to be exhausted enough not getting home until 9:30 or 10 after driving all the time. So I was like, nah. So I wanted to do that. But what else? I think, I did buy something at the market, but I can't remember what it is. So, a bunch of pins, which is funny because that Salgis thing is pins. I had them there, and I opened the box, but we never talked about it. I never had a chance. And so I bought some pins. One of them was kind of cool. One is like a Roswell one. Roswell crash 1947 International UFO Museum little pin.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's just fun. I don't necessarily think it's worth a ton of money.
Right.
It's just like it's probably
well, it's probably a souvenir thing, and they give them to thousands of people.
Yeah,
but there's more people that haven't gone there that would probably like one.
Well, people like it's like one of those people like UFOs.
Yeah.
So like
So I don't know. I think that's a good one. I would like that one.
Yeah, I think this was the highlight of the lot. Okay. It's funny. Google Lens failed me on this one, though. You think you would find it easily, but no.
Oh, well, that's a good thing then.
I think, but I can't find any comps. Okay. And it's not like a really ancient one either, right? It's just a little pin.
Yeah.
But still, it's cool.
Does it have a date on it?
No, but I can tell from the back that it's pretty modern.
Okay.
It has that kind of a texture to the back. The other thing I did a little bit of art this week because I was watching a video on jewelry before the jewelry find on different on latches and stuff like that. How to tell if they're old.
Okay.
And so I was doing little pictures of all the different latches. I need my visual thing because my memory is really bad. Like some people will remember forever, and it's like, no, you could tell me one day, and then tomorrow I'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? So
okay, two things you have to remember: Lewis and a baseball player on a tin. Other than that, you're fine.
Yeah.
Any painting with Lewis on it, you got to pick up.
Yeah. You're obsessed.
I'm determined. But
I guess that's it. Like, what else happened? Oh, so I made a website.
Interesting. Okay,
but I didn't publish it. But I did it. My wife says it's nice, which is actually pretty good for.
Anything. So what would you be? What's the website for? Like, what would you be using it for?
So, as the time before, if I'm going to sit there at the booth and not make any money, I might as well like have a chance to buy stuff because it's funny because like that opportunity has come up a couple times without me actually doing anything. Right. Yeah. So I should be like actively trying to initiate that stuff. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, you need a website, Carl. Like, so what I did is I went into Chat GPT and I asked Chat GPT and I said, oh, here's some sites you can try just to do it. And then the funny thing is I went to ChatGPT and I said, can you criticize my website? And it went through and it did it and made suggestions.
Huh.
And they were good suggestions of how to improve the site. And it's like, oh my God, we're doomed. Is an aside. But so I'm not saying I'm going to publish this website. I'm just saying I initiated the start of doing it. Because really, if I'm in this business, I really should have a website because it's not that expensive, right?
Is that image from a postcard?
That's my image I use. That's called a bone. What's it called? So right now there's a background picture, and I use the same picture on my business cards.
Yeah.
And it's what's it called? Rags and Bones Man.
Okay.
In England, and what they used to do is they would go around and collect the old rags and bones from houses and go and sell them. And that's how he made his living. So what it's showing here is a Edwardian picture or a Victorian picture of a guy pulling a cart loaded with parcels.
Now, was that from a postcard though? Or?
I forget where I stole that from. I mean, borrowed that from. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not a postcard. No.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was one of your postcards.
No, I think it was just a vintage photo I found, which like the copyright person's long gone, so should be okay.
Well, I'll click on it later. I mean, it looks very like
what you see is all it is. There's nothing else to it.
Oh, you can't click on Facebook or anything?
Well, you can. It'll take you to the Facebook, but that's an Instagram. and email. But that's the only thing. It's just a one-page website. I just wanted to do it so I could say I've done something.
Oh, I like it. I like it. It's very I don't know the proper term, but it's very clean and crisp and like
not a lot of BS all around it, that's for sure. But this is probably not what I'm going to publish. This is just me playing around.
Yeah, but it's very it's just clean. It looks very clean. You know what I mean? Does it? I don't know.
Free.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah. I like it. I'm not saying the right word, but it looks so like neat and right there. You know, does that make? I don't know.
I know what you're saying. There's not like a lot of distractions around the page, right?
Right. It's good.
It just says my name, what I do, and how to contact me, and that's kind of all I want, right?
Yeah.
Because
it almost looks like a business card with links.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, with links. That's it. Yeah. Right. And this is free, but people can't find it. I have to send I sent Scott a direct link. I can send people direct links.
Right. And there's a domain name and everything.
Yeah, but it's not mine. It's theirs. It's maybe I'll put it in the show notes if people really care. But but you can't Google it. You won't be able to find it, which is kind of
okay.
But this is, like I said, they host it for free, so you can't beat that. Because I think I should have a site, right? You know, it's not that expensive. I've $10 or $15 a month maybe to list a site. I think.
Okay. Adam has offered to do a web page for me.
Oh.
Now this was a month or two ago, but I just haven't got around to. I just don't know what I want it to do. You know what I mean? But that's pretty neat idea. If you buy estates, you buy, antiques, collectibles, whatever it is, right? So
I think, you want to make things as, I'm not an expert on this, but in my opinion, you want to make things as easy for the person to contact you as possible. Every little step that gets in their way means a big chance they're not going to do it, right?
Yeah.
So, if I was going to design my little business card again, right? What are they called? The little designs that like geometric designs that take you straight to a web page. What's that called again?
Like an icon?
Yeah, little icons. What are they called? God, I'm an old man.
Avatars?
No, not avatar. When they okay, like a UPC code, but it's not a UPC code. It's a square.
Yeah, I know what you're calling. I know what you're saying.
Anyways,
like a QR. Is it?
QR code. Yeah,
QR code. Yeah.
So, if I had a QR code that took you directly to this website, and then I could just say, "You want to sell something? Here's a QR code," and just have that in my booth on a piece of paper. Like how long? And I could even have this website because I could just it is open. It works. So, and it takes no effort. So I like no effort.
The QR code that's a good idea.
Sure. And that QR codes you can make yourself, no problem. So, because the kids nowadays, they like their QR codes, right?
Yeah. Well, we have a friend of Stephanie's. So I don't know this person, but apparently her father has passed away. So we got to put him in at least in his late 70s, kind of 80s for sure, just based on our ages. So she doesn't know what to do with the stuff. So we offered to go and help her, whatever that's going to end up meaning. I don't know. We could end up buying it. I don't know. But I just said that just tell her not to throw anything away until we have a look at it. Because usually people throw the valuable stuff away and keep the stuff that they think is valuable, which usually has very little value to it, right? Or it's something that maybe was valued 25, 30 years ago, but it hasn't held its value.
Yeah.
But they remember it then as having value. You know what I mean? So
so much so this stuff is so obvious to us of no one wants that, but I swear every time I talk to someone, it's like, oh, I got this China set I've had forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants it.
No one wants it.
And you know, I shouldn't just say that because some stuff
Yes.
there are exceptions, right? Um, as far as buying for me this week, I'm very tight with my buys. I'm very uh, you know, we're moving so at the end of the month, so I don't want to have really more, but I cannot not go because you just never know what you're going to find. You might find a Ninja Turtle out there for $5. You don't know what you're going to find, right?
Yeah.
But so I went out. I spent $65. I got $2. I bought a Canon Snapshot. I forget the model number, but it's about $135 camera. I paid $2 for it, and it's in the box, Carl.
Yeah, I can see one just right from where I'm sitting. Yeah, I got to deal with.
The blow molds, Mary, Joseph, and Jesus, and two of the three wise men, $10.
Not 10 cents.
Not 10 cents. Well, I mean, there's five, so if you divide the $10, you might get down to $1. But no, there's five or 10, so I pay $2 a piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's silly.
So, anyways, those just went directly to the storage unit. I will bring those out to the booth. I don't know. I might even sell them online. You know, like the Mary Joseph. Like I think they're $300 for the Mary Joseph and Jesus.
Wow,
I'd have to re-look them up because they could have changed, but you know, I think those ones could be around $300. Basically, like $60 to $100 a blow mold.
Okay.
They're the old vintage ones, but they got all their paint a little bit faded, but not bad. So I got those $10. Might just throw them in the booth. I don't know yet. I have to re-look them up. But anyway, PS3, PS2, and a ton of games. And if everything works, we're looking at $800 to $1,000.
Wow.
So got there, helped them bring the stuff out. They're bringing it out of the barn, and it was a farming couple, and you know, I offered to help, and she goes, "Oh, I can lift it." So she's lifting it, but she's lifting the table with it towards her back, and her hands are kind of reversed, and he's carrying it, walking forward, and she's walking forward, but carrying it from behind. I don't know if you can imagine that, but she couldn't lift it up on the table with that in that position. So, okay, maybe I could use your help. She said, I'll help her with other. Anyways, he brings this box out, and it's got all this games in it. I said, what do you want for the video game stuff? And he goes, "Oh, that's my son's." And I said, "Do you have a price on it?" He goes, "Well, what do you think?" And I said, "Well, can't be both buyer and seller. You know what I mean? You got a price, let me know." He goes, "How about $25?" I said, "Yeah, I can do
that." Yeah, I'll struggle for that.
All the games are nice and clean with manuals in their cases. So, yeah, so it's going to be. It was a good score, and it's the good PS3, which gets into the 300. I saw some for $4, but it's the backwards compatible, and it's got all the serial number that is the good one.
Yeah.
And then the PS2, I just sold one for $100, so that's going to go right to the booth. So that was a good score. I got a few other things I just can't think offhand, but I got a Jessica Simpson leather purse.
And you do?
It was $5, and it was such good shape. And I saw Jessica Simpson. I remember her. She was super hot, right, back in the 90s. But I don't think it's worth much. I might get $30-$40 online, maybe, because it's in great condition. But probably I'm going to end up putting in the booth for like probably $15-$20. And then I got some shoes for $5 in the same place. They were female. They were Fila shoes, but they were in so clean, good condition. It's like she's never wore them. So for $5, I thought I better pick them up. I didn't even look them up or anything. I don't know. Somehow I get to $65. I don't know. There's a few other things in there that I haven't talked about because it's just not coming to mind right now. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't a whole lot of stuff. So.
No, wasn't.
What I did get, I was happy. You know. So.
Well, the truck still must be pretty full with blow molds, at least.
Well, they went right to storage unit. So
Yeah, well, that's
yeah,
good.
yeah. Well, the blow molds, they just fit in the back of the truck. I mean, they didn't take up much
So,
room.
so when you say blow molds, do the ones that actually blow up, or the ones that are plastic, hard plastic?
Hard plastic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mold. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
They're the hard plastic ones. I can look them up real quick here. I don't know. $4,000. What?
Nice.
There's all sorts of different ones here. Um, they're all different sizes too, and that's another thing, Carl. When you look at different things, you always have to look at the sizes because sizes can mean the difference, but they don't look different. They look the same as the bigger ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No. And it can be completely different prices.
Yeah. So I think the ones I got here, yeah, maybe they're not like. I mean, obviously for $10, I couldn't go wrong, but 68. I see 120, but I think mine's more of the 68 one. I think Joseph had the brown cloth on, not the other one's pink. Um oh, well, hopefully it's not pink, it's kind of reddish. Hopefully that's the one because one just sold there for $246. And then I don't know, I guess that's maybe brown or pink or purple. 171. That's without the wise man. That's just the blow molds. But I'll have to go and check the sizes. Mine are the big ones, which doesn't mean they're the good ones. Maybe the smaller ones are better, but
usually the bigger the better for most of the stuff we find.
I would think so, but it's hard to say, right? So there's anyway, they're kind of all over, anywhere from 68 to 200.
Nice.
So we'll see. $10, dude. $10.
You're
$68.
getting
That's
up early, paid off.
Right? What's that?
You're getting up early, pays off.
It does. And these guys just brought that out too, and they let me go in the garage, but I couldn't find anything else. There's one with the box for 150, but again, he's got the pink or the reddish, pinkish thing on. Jesus looks like he's more on a park bench than he is on a. There's all different ones. Do you see the ones? Have you looked them up? There's ones where he look literally like he's laying on a park bench. That might have been the 2020 homeless version. I'm just kidding. Well, I guess they were homeless back then. They're in a manger. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, Carl.
I just letting you go. One thing that I did go to someone's garage sale, and they only had a few things out, and I went inside the garage, and they said, "Oh, you're selling stuff in the clear bins because it's full of Lego." And they went, "No," but they said we had the biggest collection in Ottawa of Lego because their son is autistic, and he was obsessed with just buying more and more and more Lego. And then someone else came to me at the thrift store, and she started talking about minifigures and how her and her husband buy Lego and sell the minifigures. It's funny. It was the week of Lego for me, as in my vibration, so to speak. I also I did Instagram again, so I've done 2 posts on Instagram. I noticed you've been fairly quote unquote active on Instagram too, at least doing a couple things.
Have I put stuff recently on Instagram?
Well, you're sending me stuff, so maybe I should.
Oh, I think I put my video of my booth there a couple weeks ago on Instagram.
Yeah, that would count. That's what I mean by like doing stuff.
Okay. Yeah, once every 3 months I do something.
That's good though. What are you talking about? That's highly active. Yeah, I got inspiration from someone else at the market. They're saying his name is T, sells comics. He says you should be doing Instagram. It's like, okay. So I've done a couple. No reason not to, right?
Yeah.
Except for laziness. Is there anything else that happened?
Not really. I mean, honestly, dude, it's just moving.
Yeah.
Um, Dealing with just stuff around the house is what I've been doing a lot of.
And
So,
that's where your energy should be spent anyways.
well, it has to be right because
Yeah.
we're down. We had 2 months. Now we're down to less than a month, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to come up quick. We're ahead of the game, but as long as if we stop pushing, then we're going to get behind. So, this weekend we'll have a good grasp of where we are because Friday, like I said in the last video or last episode, Steph's friends are coming, so they're going to take a lot of stuff that day, and I'll be taking more stuff throughout the week. So, depending on how many vehicles they have and how much they can actually handle and take, could be a game changer. Could make a big difference, right? So
I would count on nothing and be pleasantly surprised by anything above that.
No, it's not that bad. They'll get up in the morning. They're going to go get their nails done, but they'll move. They'll do well.
Okay.
Steph and her one friend for sure, the one they're going to go get their nails done. They're very, very efficient and very. I even said this to Steph yesterday or the day before. Like she's very, even when she's tired, if she has to get something done, she gets it done.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going right to the couch, bud. Like
yeah, me too. Nap time.
I got to get this done, but I'm so tired. I got to get this done. Okay, I'm just going to go lay down for
just a 5 minute nap.
Turns into like 3 hours. But she's very efficient and she's focused on getting things done, right?
Okay.
So
that's going to help a lot.
What's that?
That's going to help a lot then.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. If it's on her mind, it has to get done. So she can't rest. So, but yeah, that's about it. Just working on that. That's going to be it. Going, I'm still going to do the yard sales, but you know what else I did get on the Friday, which I thought was really neat, was it was one of those like a kind of like a English pub beer pump made of brass. It had a wood base and then the brass handle.
Yeah.
But on it was another beer, but it was plastic, but it was a badge, right, where it would screw to a tap.
Yeah, okay.
So they were selling both for $10, not realizing that both are two different items.
Oh, okay.
So how much for the beer tap? $10, gone, right? Like I took it, no problem. Well, I put $90 on the beer tab because it's a nice old brass, and then I just took the patch off, and that's probably, honestly, I think it's a $45 to $65, piece of beer advertisement.
Oh, nice bonus, yeah.
Yeah. So, but they couldn't see the forest for the trees. They just saw two beer things, and it was attached, and that's the way they sold it.
It was a one thing, yeah.
Right. Nice. So, and that actually happens more often than you think. Like it's not a everyday thing, but there's a lot of times where there's a they have two things together thinking it's one. For instance, like they might have a nice basket or a nice box with some advertising on it or a tray, and they're selling everything on the tray, and they just hand you the tray too.
Yeah, and the trays can be better than the rest of it.
Yeah, 100%, right? So, or other people in the auction don't realize that the tray is included, or they don't know what the tray is.
Yeah.
And they don't want the stuff on the tray, so they just say no, and then you get it for $5, and the tray's worth $40, and everything else you can throw away, even if you wanted to.
I keep into Valley Village coupons. That's what I say. Yeah.
But it's crazy how that works. But yeah.
One last thing for me was kind of funny. So we've had like really dark weather and rainy weather, and gets to me, right? Okay. So Sunday I was a little down. I'm at the booth, and then a friend of mine from a couple booths down comes over and says, "Carl, you're really quiet today." And she's not even next to me. She's down a bit. And I was like, "Oh my God." And I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm obviously very loud when I'm at the booth." And she said, no, it brings a lot more energy to the market. So it was just funny that she knows from 2 booths down that I was just being a little quieter that day instead of, because when I get excited, I can get pretty loud.
Oh, do you get loud when you
I
talk?
don't even realize I'm doing it. Yeah.
I don't think I've realized that here.
Well, you wouldn't see that because we're not together in a spot, right?
Okay.
Talking over this is very different than interacting face to face when you're at the market. So.
All right. But
so good.
All right. Can you hang on 1 second, Carl? I'm gonna pause it. I think they're beep 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 beep. All right, Carl. So what time is it now?
Bolo of the week.
Bolo of the week. Well, what's your bolo?
So I found this. I went to the Valley Village in Montreal, like I said, and I found the old standby. I'm sure everyone's heard me talk about this, but maybe some people in the podcast haven't. The old guitar.
Old
Xbox 360. This one is the Explorer guitar. It's a white guitar for video games. And, the only pain thing about these guitars, these video game guitars, is you want to have the right box to ship them in. These Explorer ones are white. I don't know what you would call it. Like, it's not like shaped like a electrical guitar. It has the buttons at the top. The only thing I say when you buy these is make sure it has a breakaway cord, which is a USB cable at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because often those are missing. This one's missing the strap. I'll often buy them without the strap because then I said buy guitars and they don't work. And then I get the strap. So, and you want to make sure the buttons all feel good and the whammy bar feels good. Everything feels good. And to test them, it's actually really easy. You just need to plug them into your computer, and the computer actually has an inbuilt way of testing these guitars. So when you attach it, it'll say, "Oh, it's found a USB device." You can look at the USB device, and you can test all the functionality. So it's actually really easy to test, and they sell for $80 to $100 plus shipping.
Really?
And they're easy, and there's the demand for them still after all this time.
I got 14 downstairs.
Well, they're good.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Just kidding. It's not your sort of thing, probably.
Well, I do have a couple guitars. They're not that style, though.
No. So for these video game guitars, you can't pick up any just one.
Yeah.
Like if it's 360 or a PlayStation, I might look closer. If it's PC, generally not. But you want to get them in. They can be really rough. So I usually pick up the ones that are cleaner.
Okay.
Now the one I'm having in my hand, which is the white bottom, which looks like electric guitar stylized.
Yeah.
I almost always pick these up because these are kind of like the prime ones. The other ones, it depends on my mood. Because if I'm going to deal with this stuff, I want $100. And like I said, it's $80 to $100 Canadian plus shipping. So, yeah, I was just happy to find these. So still good bolo, an old bolo, but still a good bolo.
It doesn't look as big as the one I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, you know what? When I picked it up, it feels like it's a mini version.
Yeah.
But I swear I checked my other guitars and it's like I don't have any of this version left. Okay. But it's like I picked it up and it felt small. But
does the handle slide out or anything like
that? No. Some of these guitars, like you can actually detach the handle, which makes shipping easier. But no, this is it. So I think it's been a while since I found one. Okay. Because they go like resellers know about these and they'll pick them up. I was surprised to actually see it in Montreal.
Huh.
That's the funny thing too, is sometimes when you go to value villages outside of your territory, so to speak, you'll find stuff that you won't find in your own area because like whatever reason the person who picks those up don't exist there. And probably the vice versa happens here too. So
yeah. Interesting.
Yep. So I still pick them up. It's okay.
Good to know. I will be looking out for those because I actually, believe it or not, I see a lot of like drums and rock band stuff.
Yeah.
At garage sales, right? So
yeah.
The drum stuff can do okay too, especially if you want to part it out. Like because
the drum stuff can be good. I never bother picking them up because it's so huge.
Yeah.
I know it can come apart though. But I have sold that stuff. I just It's the guitars you see all the time,
Like
but
I
you'll
think
see
I
a lot
got
of trash ones.
$65 for just the pedal.
Yep. No, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you never know.
and it can be variant on what the store wants for them. Like this was $10. Usually they're
Yeah.
like $7.99 to $12.99. I wouldn't pay much more than that because like sometimes they don't work. They don't
Yeah.
always work. I'd say 80% of the time they work though.
Can you sell them for like $30 parts and repair or anything like that? Or
I wouldn't bother because I don't want to ship them. I don't want to pack them. They are a slight pain to pack, right?
yeah.
Because usually you have to Frankenstein a box.
Well, what if you like, I don't know, save them up and you got 3 or 4 that don't work? Can you part repair like a bundle lot? I'm just curious
Yeah,
because
I don't know.
if you pay $5 or $10, like after 3 or 4 times, like it starts that up. So you don't want to just not get your money back or something, right?
I
So
store them forever in the box of shame over in one corner of my house. Yeah,
so you might have a gold mine there at parts of repair.
I might.
All right, shall we get to the bolo that I've been teasing everybody about?
Yeah.
And Carl, I want you to be honest with me if you knew about this or not. So these are figures, and I think they come in various sizes. I'm not 100% sure exactly much about them. I stole, this is the only bolo so far, and I'm sure there'll be more in the future that I've not sold. I've stole. And I stole this off of watching Shed Flips. And they're very recognizable once you know what you're looking for, because they have crosses over their eyes.
Oh.
These are
Oh yeah.
KAWS, KAWS,
I
KAWS figures.
you know what? I think I have heard of these. I've never picked one up. Let me just see if it's what I'm thinking of. They're vinyl figures, right, or something like that.
I believe they are vinyl figures. But dude, if you go highest to lowest, highest price, a lot of them out there that are $30, $40, but there's some gold mines out there that get, like I'm looking at a Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket vinyl. So it's a vinyl. $3,154. Read description. So it's probably not even complete. It's probably broken or something.
Okay, I did. I had heard of these, but I'm not sure if I would have I would have checked this out. It would have probably rung a bell deep in the back of my brain somewhere.
Yeah.
Because it's the sort of thing that's unusual.
To me, and I'm probably very wrong on this, they're just a fad like Funko Pops.
Yep.
Right? They're just a beanie. They're a fad. Like there's really, I don't know. To me, there's nothing hugely appealing to justify $1,600, $1,500, $1,000, 9 bids. You know what I mean? There's nothing that does that to me. 900, 1,000, 1,000, 900. Like there's tons of these things. And if you look at highest to lowest, hit highest to lowest, and I think there are, like there's a Mickey Mouse one, there's a Pinocchio one, but they're not just limited to Disney. They can be other characters. I think there's a Boba Fett one that goes for about $200, 200 something dollars. And there's ones that might not be anything. Like they're just pure black and they just kind of look funny. But I don't know. What do you think, Carl? You're looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking at them. I'm trying to think of a way to describe it.
Like there's a
they're mostly
Count
clowns.
Chocula one,
They're clowns.
$400.
Yeah. It's like clowns with X's for eyes. And sometimes they might be like a bear or as well, like you said, or Simpsons or Cookie Monster here. They're just weird.
Yeah, there's a Boba Fett. I saw one for 200, but here's one with the box for 411. They're classifying as brand new, but they don't have to be brand new. Pre-owned. Here's one. They must be Japanese. Holiday Japan. So maybe they're Japanese things, but $370. with original box.
Weird.
Craziness, eh?
I can't say I've ever seen one.
I haven't. I don't remember seeing one. But be careful because there's a lot too. Like if you go, let me just do this quickly, just to kind of give you both sides of it. Let's say lowest price. There's a couple here, $8, $15, but that's a keychain. The 3D printed, so somebody's they're a reproduction, so that doesn't even count. But you might want to be careful of that.
Yeah, they're dumb.
I don't think I would put these up for bids. I think I would ask the price for them. But
a lot of them are selling as new. I noticed that, like the used to new ratio is quite big.
Yeah. Not sure why. But I mean, pre-owned, you can still get $1,000 for a pre-owned one if it's the right one. Or $500, whatever. Like they're all over the place. But very quickly you get into the $30 range. 7-inch, so maybe size makes a difference. I don't know enough about them to get into that, but like there are keychains as well. So, just glancing quickly, we might not 11 centimeters. That's different than 11 inches. We know that. So, but they got $70.
The only thing I would remember is if you ever see a figure with X's for eyes, check it out.
Yeah, but they are definitely. And this one says 2016, so they've been out there for a bit.
Yep.
Right? Do they still make them? I don't know.
So I'm not sure what's up with that.
What's that?
This one here is Cause Hashim Original Fake Medicom. Original Fake Medicom Mint. Well, who knows?
Well, and here's the thing too, and I'm glad you said that, because Lonnie and Candace said that you got to be careful because there's a lot of fakes.
Right.
So they think theirs was fake, but they were still planning on getting some decent money for it. But so maybe check out Lonnie and Candace, but there was no barcode on the back. There was a couple indications on the box that made them think of that, but they said it was very close. But there was a few indications that would indicate that they felt was a fake. So be very, very careful because you don't want to get in trouble for that. But I mean, if you pick it up for $5 at a yard sale, who cares, right?
Yeah, gamble's a good once in a while for sure.
Yeah. So, cool. But I think if you put fake in the title, maybe you're okay. I don't know. Like you just said, that person said original fake. So,
original fake. Yeah, that's what it says here. I don't know.
Authentically fake.
I don't know what the eBay rules are, but they were good enough that he sold it before they had to worry about it. So.
Yeah. This is an authentic fake one.
Depends how fake it is.
Yeah.
It's like the He-Man fakes or like Roman coin fakes actually can be worth money because they did the fake 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, it's crazy though. But yeah, these figures were insane. And you know what? There's way more over $100. Way more than what there is under $100. Well, wait, I'm looking at sold. So, okay, that's sold. I don't know. Let's see how many sold. We're looking at 160 results. Let me see how many are.
The way I tell is like how well what values they sell for is like when on eBay it says the price and it gives you suggestions for ranges. The higher that range is, the higher the average price is.
So they're saying 160 sold and they have 160 for sale for cause figures. So that's about that's a good sales rate.
What do I see? I see 710 sold. I'm on .ca.
Yeah, same here.
110 sold and see, yet 60. Okay, 62,000. But that's when I went back to the all category. If I go to toys and hobbies, it's down to 2,500. So
I just typed in cause figures authentic.
oh, I didn't put it. I didn't.
No, I just put in cause figures. I just clicked on authentic now. 61. 30. So the sell through rate seems to be decent from what I'm seeing, but I haven't looked into it enough to know that. But because obviously there's more than 30 here, because you scroll down and then there's a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So, but there are categories for replica. Wow. Maybe you just take out figure altogether. No. Well, maybe they. Huh. Does cause they have shirts too? Which aren't necessarily worth a lot of money, but the same type of image is on the shirt. Like the X's for eyes. All right, there you go.
Perfect. Anyway. Thanks. Yep. Thanks for that one. Yep, X's eyes. Check it out.
X's eyes. All right. What time is it now, Carl?
Time for the comments of the week.
Time for the comments. And I guess we're over on Spotify.
Yep. I'll do the first one.
All right.
Tina Mac. Missed you guys last week. Yep, and we're back now. Sales are on an all-time low. Let's hope things change with the strike at least. Yeah, I was listening to our podcast and I said I was going to blame Tina if things went on strike, but she was right. It wasn't as bad as we had hoped. So,
hey, Carl, I just want to throw this out there, and I have a feeling I might have said this on the show we recorded, but I didn't edit and
how convenient.
But I can bring that up there if you need to.
Oh, how convenient.
But I'm pretty sure I said I'm going to be optimistic about this because my feeling was they had all this time to kind of deal with things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you got to hope that even though the government is in election and they still got to be working behind the scenes. So I'm going to be optimistic that it's not going to last that long. Maybe my reasoning could have been off. It's up to perception. I'm not saying it was or wasn't, but at least my optimism was my intuition.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with optimism,
right?
Yeah.
So I just want to say, like, I semi-called it a little bit. Like, I feel
okay.
I feel unconfidently confident that no, but I kind of said that too. Like, I felt optimistic, and anything could still happen. So I don't want to go like,
yeah. Imagine if between this time next week if they go on strike fully.
But that's
hey, I'm always optimistic too, man. I can only go with the facts as they sit on the ground at the time.
Yeah,
that's all I can
do. My personal facts was what kind of happened. Like,
because last time
I was gonna try to say a joke in there, but in all honesty, like I'm happy that at least we can still ship stuff. Yeah. It was really just a week of
unknown.
Like, I didn't shut my store down by any means, but it was kind of like, I'm going to lose money. Like, I'm not going to make as much money on the sale because now I got to ship UPS, but I was never going to shut my store down. And luckily, so far anyways, it seems like it's going to be a minor inconvenience. Like, it's good. Maybe the parcel takes a couple extra days to get there, but at least they're still accepting parcels.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see what
happens. In doubt, just say yes. Is that it? Yeah. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm just going to say yes.
Well, it's just like things are still unstable, and we'll see what happens. And it's between, it's not even the government, it's between Canada Post and the workers, unless the government steps in.
Yeah, so I do want to reemphasize that anything can happen still, but at least for the time being,
we can work with this.
We can work with it. Yes. So, okay.
Like, I haven't even heard of anyone complaining that their parcels have been delayed with the no overtime. So,
I haven't had a parcel delay with the regards to the strike kind of thing going on. But about a month ago, I had one delayed, but that was UPS. That was United States. That wasn't UPS. That was USPS, I guess it would be called.
Yeah, which obviously has nothing to do with
Canada Post. Canada Post got it across the border, and then once it was across the border, instead of going to New Jersey, it went to Colorado, and it got in limbo for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Obviously, when we're talking about like delays, I'm talking within Canada.
Yeah. So that's my store.
Sorry?
You're at Tina Mac with...
Yeah. Okay. Let's hope things change with the strike at least. My store was off for a bit too. Open now. Crickets. The bad weather has been happening every Saturday too. Yard sales were not great. So Tina's in my area.
Okay.
Close by at least. So every Saturday, here comes the rain, it seems. The kicker is I had to send my first package by FedEx due to the strike, and arrived broken. $200 item. Never had anything break in 3 years. Trying to file a claim, and they say my address doesn't exist. I sound like Debbie Downer or Carl. Hey, what was that? Yeah, that's... I hate when things break. It's been a while for me too, but now I'm like, when I ship anything that's breakable, I like so overpackage it. What I hate is when I have to package more than one breakable item together, because I find like they bounce off each other and break each other somehow. So, and I never tried claiming for a broken thing. I don't know if I would, like, for $200, that's a lot. So maybe I'd try then. But
so I had something break too a couple weeks ago, and it was a toy soldier, and the guy bought five of them, and he complained that one arrived broken. He didn't really give me a hard time about it. He just let me know about it. And I'm like, dude, it was part of the gun, right? So, like, he's holding a pistol, right? Yeah. He's got it out. So 2 things can happen here. You can glue it, and you could do it in such a way that you would never even know that's glued, right? Because you just wouldn't. I could do it, and you would never know. Not that I would do it. I'm just saying you could. So now you're just trying to get something, or you had one already that was broken. This comes in its original box and foam, Carl. So I'm very, like, if I package it myself because there's no box, then I'll explain in the listing, no box, right? Sometimes I can understand if that arrives broken, but when it's in its own box, like, they're in there so good. Like, I'm very skeptical that broke. Anyway, doesn't matter. I just blocked him. He was a first-time buyer of those soldiers. He bought 5. One is broken. I blocked him. Just what I just don't want to deal with it. He could be legit.
So did you give him his money back, or what did you do?
I give him a full refund on it. It was a $65 one. I give him a full refund on it, but I blocked him. I'm not going to have you buy anymore.
No.
Right? So I looked at his account. He messaged me saying, hey, my dad really likes these things. I like to buy a few of them for my dad. He was a watcher on one of them. I give 15%. He asked for 15% on all 5 if he buys them all, plus a shipping discount, which I give all shipping discounts when they do multiple orders. So he got 15% off all 5 items. All 5 items. and then the one broke, and I go into his account, and he's a reseller. So is he showing me something he already had this broken, or like it just there was too many questions there, and I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this chump anymore. You know what? He could have said, listen, I just want to let you know one broke, or like, can I get a 50% discount or something like that, or I don't worry about it or anything, but next time just kind of like there could have been a different conversation that took place. You know what I
Right.
mean? I just felt like
Your internal gut was off on it.
yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what you're up to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It might not have been up to anything,
It's
but
so a lot of trust in this business. Yeah.
right. And I'm not gonna deal with it. So anyway, I ended up blocking him. I give him a full refund and I blocked him.
Yeah.
So
Annoying. So yeah. So Tina, yeah, that sucks. Sorry. Let us know how the claim goes because I'm kind of curious.
yeah, and it was a FedEx package, right? So FedEx. Oh, FedEx. So this was this would have been Canada Post. So I don't know when an item arrives, I'm skeptical because I package my stuff pretty good, right? So, what about you, Carl?
Yeah, it depends on what it is.
Yeah,
Like with Walkmans, they often show up broken, and I'm pretty sure it's not people trying to rip me off. I think they don't like being shipped. Um, Sometimes with soldiers, like especially antique ones, the little bits and pieces on there can break really easily. Like I have a couple near me, the old flat ones, and I just touched the spear and it fell off. Like
yeah,
that's how fragile they can be. The King and Country ones, though, those were kind of like made of like solid metal.
yeah, and they're pretty solid, right? And they're in their original box with the foam
Yeah.
inserts.
So that's kind of like I could see it possible, like
Yeah,
especially like with a gun because that's the bit that sticks out the end.
yeah,
And who knows, maybe it was like never properly done in the first place, but yeah, you have no idea. Like you're just gonna have like do what you feel comfortable with, right?
yeah. I
It's like
mean,
you
I
could
got
even
lots
say
of buyers.
I don't trust the shipper near you because they must have been really rough on it. Somewhere between me and you, they were really rough on it. So I just don't want to sell anymore, just in case you have an issue with your company near you. So I use
Yeah,
that as an excuse if they asked. But
but it's frustrating with that. Now, listen, we know the toy soldier story, so I'm okay with it, but I just don't want to deal with someone like that anymore. Like I don't need to. It's a
no.
headache. I'm moving on. So I don't know. People might disagree. I know some people would say, "Yeah, block everybody, man."
I like in
Uh,
that case I block. I
yeah,
do block, yeah, because it's like I said, it could be legit. Like I don't if something broke, I don't want something to ship them something else and breaks again, and they're like leave me a bad negative review saying this guy doesn't know how to pack stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's just not worth the risk.
yeah. I agree. Adam Wakefield, glad you're back. I was thinking between the tariffs and postal strike, you guys just shut it down. Well, Adam, I'm glad you're glad that we're back. No, it was just I'm moving, so there's just a lot going on here for the next couple more weeks, probably 2 months, really. Like we'll be
Mm,
moved at the end of the month, but then we'll be unpacking. But at least there's no pressure there. But right now, there's a little bit of pressure just to get this, just to get us out of here. You know what I mean?
yeah,
On time, right?
yeah.
Because people want to move in. So,
And I still
um,
see lots of stuff behind you there. So
yeah, this will be the second last room that
yeah,
moves. This is
yeah.
probably going to be done next week.
Mm,
But I got stuff downstairs. I'm hoping it'll be done this week. The garage is completely done. And the shed out back is done. This room is pretty much done. I'm kind of storing stuff in here that I have listed, combo with the toy soldiers that I don't want to be at the back of the shed. I
yeah,
want to keep them at the front, so
yeah.
they're just kind of hovering there for now. But I'm pretty happy with where everything is. So, So anyway, so that's what's going on. So I do appreciate everybody, recognizing that we weren't there and returning, and
Yes.
So so anyways, thank you, Tina Mack and Adam Wakefield for leaving a comment.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now we'll head over to YouTube. New YouTube comments.
So I'll start with Mickey Ho or H0. I will never have 2 hours to waste on listening to someone I don't know. I am 74. So I'm not quite sure what the reference was to exactly, but thank you for listening. Thank you for leaving comments.
Well, is it safe to say that he took more time out of his life to write the comment than he did to listen to us?
Well, I wouldn't say he was making a negative comment. He could be referring to something we said in the show, and I don't even remember what it was.
Oh.
So, but thank you for the comment, no matter what.
Yeah.
Either way, even if it was, even if it was,
a comment's a comment. We're just happy to get.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Thanks.
Don't. All right. So I'll get the next one.
Yep.
It's the honorary Canadian, Mr. Harry Humstone himself. And Harry's been hitting it pretty hard on the yard sales too.
Yep.
I haven't watched. I'm trying to think of the last. It was the last couple, maybe a week ago. I saw his last one, so I think I saw a couple of new ones come up. So check out Harry Humstone.
Yeah,
and, lots of fun. He goes out to the yard sales. He likes the old stuff.
Yeah, so, he's hilarious too, which is great.
Time to start the Sunday night show again. I actually had a conversation with Adam last night because
did you? Yeah,
he's having a yard sale, and he says, "Hey, you want to?" Because they're doing a town-wide in Waterford, so he has a yard sale every year. He goes, I'm pretty much done reselling. I might do the odd camera if I find one, or postcards, CDs, and T-shirts. That's kind of what he's just dealing with right now. He goes, I'm going to let a lot, everything go cheap. If you want to come over, I'll give you first dibs. So I appreciate that phone call. And I'll probably go over there Sunday on my way back from the booth, because I'll have a truck full, unload it in the booth, and on the way home, I'll stop by his house and go from there. So
nice. Well,
and we were talking about doing just a Sunday night and just kind of updating what we're up to, and just to say hi. Honestly, it's just to say hi to everybody, because I do miss the group that used to come in there steadily. And I don't know. It was just a lot to commit to the Sunday at that time every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to get, Adam said, well, do you think people will come back on? I think they would. I think they'd come on to say hi.
Yep.
Right. So we might do a pop-on show, especially once I'm done moving, just to let everybody know what's going on there. And Adam's got a lot of stuff that I don't want to talk about because I want him to talk about it. But he's got a lot of stuff on the go besides reselling the way we are right now.
Yeah.
He's got something else on the go. I'll leave it at that. But Harry, always fun to have on the show too, right? So maybe we'll have like an open mic and just let people come on, because shoot the shit with Harry, see what's going on. But again, just go check out Harry Humstone, his YouTube. All right, Carl, we've got a couple more real quick messages here.
Randy says, Harry, you have to let it go. Let it go. And then Don just is a smiley face, a crying smiley face to that. So,
yeah, well, it was fun. I really did enjoy the Sunday shows. It was just getting to be a lot.
Yeah, like this, we can always move around. Every Sunday night, that's a little hard to move around.
Yeah, and I had that stuff ready. We're rushing back, and if you want to go away, then it's hard to do that. And yeah, there's just a lot of things regarding that. So there we go, Carl.
Nice and short.
Made it through. Made it through.
Yeah, you should be able to edit this one without having a 3 to 4 hour listen. And
hour and a half. Wow.
Yeah, short and sweet.
All right, what do you got going on this week, Carl? What do we have to look forward to?
What do we have to look forward to? That's a really good question.
Yeah, you got nothing going on?
No, I got nothing going on. I think there's town wides this weekend, but I don't even remember what they are. You know, all my thoughts have been about picking up my parents yesterday.
Yeah.
And after that, it was like I wasn't thinking at all. So I have no plans. Like obviously I'm gonna go to the booth, I'm gonna do all that. And yeah, I have no plans. You?
Well, obviously moving is top.
Mm.
But my whole plan right now is to get up early. And I don't know if I can or not, but today I did. But I want to get up early and try to get like 10 listings underway. Between toy soldiers, jewelry, like the small things, but I shouldn't say small, like the quick things. And then I got the rest of the day to move without any pressures. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I haven't been doing that for the last 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. But I got to get that going. I gotta keep the momentum strong.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, or next week's going to bring, or a month is going to bring, to the point where we could have a strike, or there could be. Like, I got to do it while the going's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want to keep on top of that, keep the booth full because it's rocking, and try to have as little of impact on this move, or I should say have this move do as little impact on my reselling as possible. But it's still going to impact things. But I think on the other side, it'll be better. I'll have my head cleared of my space. Everything will be worked the way it's convenient for me now. You know what I mean? Like when you first start off, you're just patching things together and stuff like that. So now I'll be able to set it up the way I want it set up. Mm-hmm. So really looking forward to that. So, and that's about it. So I guess I got my yard sales. There's a bunch of town wides. I'll be going and doing that. Again, I'm going to be picking very picking. And then just keep moving things out and keep going, and then boom, it'll be next Wednesday. We'll be doing a recording, and
so quick.
It goes by so freaking.
It feels like we just recorded, and it's like, oh, it's time to record again.
Yeah.
But
that's about it. Everything's honestly, I can't complain, dude. I can't complain, right? Like my sales. I'm happy based on not doing anything. I'm getting some big numbers, like big items, I guess, or bigger items. The booth is rocking it. So again, it's me. Everything's me. So if I can get up in the morning and get that done by 9 o'clock, 7 to 9.
It'd be convenient if I was a morning person, but I am not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to move there. Amy's even worse. She'll go to bed at 2 a.m.
So. Yeah. Well, I'll try, but I'm a night owl, and it's hard for me sometimes to get to sleep. So
I get a wake up call every morning from the cat wanting out, usually 4 a.m. But it's like I go back to bed. Screw staying up. But
you know what? And the weather has been perfect for sleeping because
it's cool. It's been horrible. Yeah.
Right? You open that window, it's cool, so you get out of the warm blankets. You don't want to get up.
It's been so dark. Like last couple of days, it's been great, but yeah, everyone's energy is down too when it's like this.
Yeah.
Well, not like this right now, but last week or two. Yeah.
Cocaine.
Yeah.
When I say that, I've never ever touched this stuff. I would never touch this stuff. It just sounds funny to me.
I've heard that if you have ADHD and you take cocaine, it has the opposite effect. It calms you down and focuses you.
Oh,
that's
really?
One of the ways you can tell you have ADHD. Yeah. Not that I recommend trying.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend that either. But okay. Well, that's it. We're here every Friday. We try to be. We will be back on track. Especially if we run non 2-hour shows, 3-hour shows. But anyway, yeah, we're here every Friday. Anything else to add, Carl? I think that's it.
Hey, if anyone has us wanting to talk about something specific, let us know. Like as topics. Not that we have a problem just filling the time, but yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. And so we're here every Friday. Carl, good luck this week. Have a good picking Saturday and a good selling Sunday.
Well, and have fun packing.
Oh, I will. I will.
Put some mileage on your vehicle there, Gain. Moving that hour.
Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Awesome.
But all right. Have a good week, everyone. And Carl, have a good week.
You too. Bye, everyone.